Have you been thinking about moving to Castle Rock, Colorado, and you don't even know where to start? Well, today I'm going over all the pros and the cons of moving there. And some of these cons you're definitely gonna wanna stick around for because they could be deal breakers when moving to Colorado. So make sure you stick around to the end for those. But let's go ahead and get started in today's video. Welcome back to Colorado Living. I'm Nicole Baker. Today we're going over exactly that, the pros and the cons of Castle Rock. But before we get into today's video, I want to let you guys know I am a licensed realtor here in this beautiful state. My number's popping up on the screen, as well as my email. You guys can text, call, email, whatever is easiest for you. But I love helping people relocate to this beautiful state. But if you're not ready to quite reach out yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I make videos and I post them every Monday and Wednesday. So if you want more content just like this, go ahead and, like I said, hit that subscribe button and let's get into today's video. Getting right into it, we're talking about location. So this could definitely be a pro or a con or both depending on the situation. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop up a map right now for you guys to show you exactly where Castle Rock is. It is a little bit further out than some of the other suburbs that we've talked about in the past. Castle Rock is probably about a 40-minute drive to downtown. So again, going into the con portion of it, if you work downtown, it is going to be a little bit of a further distance for a drive for you. It really just depends. Hopefully, you know, depending on what you guys think is far. I know some people who had to commute an hour and a half to work, but yes, it's going to be about 40 minutes and that's probably not really much traffic. So depending on what time you're heading into work, if that is rush hour, it might be a big drive for you. But there's some other pros in here that might make up for that con. Also, the distance between Castle Rock and the airport. If you do travel a lot in general or travel a lot for work, you're probably looking at about an hour drive maybe to the airport. It's pretty far out there, but if it's not something that you're constantly going to, it might not be a big deal for you. Just something to keep in mind. A pro about the location is it is a little bit further out from the city, and some people just absolutely love that. I completely don't mind it because you still have all the things, I guess, that a city closer to the main city, like we'll say Aurora to Denver, it still has all the things that you need. It has, if anything, it has more. It has tons and tons of new restaurants. It has tons of shopping plaza, so it does have the outlet mall there. So you have Restoration Hardware outlet, Nike outlet, H&M outlet. You have tons of opportunity for things to do even though you are a little bit further out. Also, something to keep in mind with location is if you work in Colorado Springs occasionally, or say one person works in Colorado Springs, one person works in Denver, Castle Rock might be the perfect middle ground for you guys because it's not too far either way. Definitely, depending on where you are in Castle Rock, it might be a little bit further of a distance to drive for the Colorado Springs person, but it's still an option. Yeah, it just depends on what you guys are feeling for location, but it's not too bad either way. Just depends on how much you have to drive into the city. Next thing, this is also a pro or a con depending on how you look at it, but we're gonna talk about cost of living. So it really just depends on where you're coming from, right? Cost of living in Colorado in general is quite above the national average. Colorado Springs is about 13% above the national average in regards to cost of living. But depending on, again, where you're coming from, the cost of living is not too bad. You still have houses in the 500,000 price point, probably starting around 515 at the lowest. I just did a video about that. If you guys want to go back a couple videos, that will be a Colorado, what you can get for 500 to 600,000. So if you're interested in seeing what you could get for that price point, go ahead and check that video out once you're done watching this one. But again, 500,000 to 600,000 could be super cheap depending on where you're coming from. It depends really. But again, also even just thinking about, you know, comparison to other cities in Colorado. Aurora, I mean, you can't find really anything in that price point at all. We'll say Parker, it's really tough. I think Castle Rock has some pretty decent pricing for Colorado in general, and it is because of the location, since it is a little bit further out there and a lot of newer development out there. The pricing is just a little bit more affordable in my opinion versus, you know, even Southeast Aurora. It could be even cheaper than that. I would say it definitely is cheaper than that. Southeast Aurora can get pretty pricey up there, just depending on what area you're looking in. But something to keep in mind is the cost of living when thinking about moving to Castle Rock, Colorado. Moving on to a pro, we're going to talk about school districts. I'm not going to touch too much on it because I don't want to lead you guys any certain way, but it is a Douglas County school district. From what I've heard, I don't have any kids and I don't have anyone going to school. Douglas County schools are really well known for their sports and an overall great school district. If you're interested in that and you want to check it out more, I have links in the description box so you guys can look more into schools if that's important to you and double check all the information I'm giving you guys. But they are known for their sports and an overall great school district. It is fairly newer schools out there, so that's awesome if you're interested in that. But something to keep in mind if you're thinking about moving to Castle Rock. Heading into another pro, and then we'll end with our last two cons. New homes and newer area in general. You have tons of new development going on there. It is filled with new homes under 600,000 too, so that's a really good opportunity for someone who is trying to get in a newer home. You have options that are a little bit further back. I also put that in my last video about Castle Rock in the 600,000 and below price point. Go ahead and check that out like I mentioned, but gorgeous new homes, great square footage. Also, you have newer restaurants, newer stores and stuff like that in general. Again, Restoration Outlet Mall is right there, the Nike outlet, the H&M outlet. I mean, it's endless with the stores at the outlet mall. It's really, really awesome and beautiful and newer. You also have on the east side of the freeway right there, you have a lot of restaurants like Shake Shack, Cafe Rio. I mean, again, opportunities are endless. You also do have a downtown area with some older things like mom and pop restaurants. If that's something that you're interested in, it's just obviously up to you, but there are options for a more older downtown, like cool vibe, I guess. They have like the string lights and whatever, coffee shops, stuff like that. So you guys could check that out too, but something to keep in mind if you are thinking about moving. All right, moving into the last two, and we are talking about cons now. Snow. Snow is a big deal for a lot of people, especially if you guys are moving from out of state, which I'm assuming you probably are if you're watching these videos. In Castle Rock, you are definitely closer to those mountains, so you will be getting quite a bit of snow compared to, say, Southeast Aurora. Anything closer to the mountains is going to obviously just be a little bit cooler. So you might get a few extra snowstorms over there. So if you hate snow and you hate the cold, then you might want to think about moving a little bit more east, but completely up to you. It's nothing too insane. Like I mentioned in all my videos, the weather here is quite mild, so you don't have to worry too much about that. But a few extra snowstorms could be a deal breaker for you guys. So I wanted to mention that. And then we're moving on to the last con, traffic. The thing about Castle Rock is it is pretty much a one little, couple lane highway all the way down. So there's not really many like side roads that could get you downtown quickly or anything like that. So unfortunately, you will see quite a bit of traffic, and it's probably only going to get worse for a little bit, considering tons and tons of people are moving to Castle Rock. So just something to keep in mind. If traffic is like an absolute no for you, especially for my people that are commuting downtown for work and things like that, where you will be driving during rush hour, something to keep in mind is the traffic. Or even if you're heading down to Colorado Springs a lot, you will see traffic that way as well. So just keep that in mind when you're thinking about the cons of moving to Castle Rock. Alright guys, that's it for today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and hopefully it helped you a little bit more on your decision whether or not Castle Rock is in the running for when you move here. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button, and if you want more content just like this one, I post every Monday and Wednesday, so hit that subscribe button. And last but not least, I am a licensed realtor here in this beautiful state, so I help people just like you move to Colorado and the Denver metro area and all the suburbs. So feel free to reach out to me, day, night, text, call, email, whatever is easiest. But until next time, guys, I will see you later. Bye.